Hello, it's Sarah Jane from Cards and a Cuppa, and I'm here today with your Tuesday tutorial, and I'm going to make these little Halloween paper straw decorations. I like to put these in with my gifts for Halloween. I always like to do something a bit special. You can see here that I've got a little bag of sweets and toys, and I've just popped one into the top of the cello bag and added a Chalk Talk framelit tag to the front. So I'm going to share with you how I made this and a couple of little tips to go with it as well. So to get started, you're going to need a paper straw, the 1 3/4 inch scallop circle punch, 1 3/8 inch circle punch. This is cucumber crush, so I'm just going to punch one of these out, and a little circle of designer series paper. This is the Happy Hauntings designer series paper that's in the autumn winter catalogue. I'm just going to stick that paper onto the circle, and then a little white gel pen to do some spots around the edge, and that's your base done. So you can just set that to one side once you've done the spots. Now I've got a hot glue gun for adhering these to the straws. You could use Crystal Effects or possibly Tombow, but you would have to allow a lot longer drying time, so that's why if you've got a glue gun it's probably a bit easier. So I'm going to do the poison bottle now, and you're going to need StazOn, and this is the Sweet Hauntings stamp set, which is also in the autumn winter catalogue. So ink up your stamp well, press and lift, and then I'm just going to take my Rich Raspberry ink pad. And see, you're going to use the ink that's in the lid, but there's not that much ink in this one, so you close your ink pad back up and press the bottom to get some ink into the lid. Now you're going to need an aqua painter, but you don't want this too wet, otherwise it's just going to go all over the edges and make it not very easy to do. So as this is thick white cardstock rather than watercolour paper, then it will absorb the ink into the paper quite quickly, so there won't be as much time to manipulate the ink around because it will get absorbed. So just remember that when you're colouring. Halloween colours here, so just simply a case of trimming around the outside edge of the bottle. You don't have to be too careful because we're going to ink this in a minute as well, which will hide any mistakes, but if you leave a small white border as you're cutting, then it's much more forgiving than if you actually try and cut on the lines. So I try to do that when I'm cutting out. And just smoky slate ink pad. Now bear in mind it's still a bit damp up the top here, So you can either leave it to dry, or you can just be really careful when you're inking the edges to make sure that you don't tear the cardstock. And then just go around all the edges and grunge it up a bit, make it Halloweeny. And so I'm just going to take a dimensional and literally just add one to the back of this and stick it onto the scallop circle that you previously did. Now, because I like all my things to be exactly the same, I came up with a bit of a way of making sure that every straw I made was all the same height. I didn't want them all different and uneven heights, and then because then I put them in a glass for now until I've got them ready and to go in the treat bags. So what I did was laid the first straw down that I did and marked the top and bottom of where the scallop circle sat, and then I stuck a scallop circle onto my grid paper. So now I know that when I lay my straw on top of this scallop circle, which is in the centre of this scallop circle, I can add a bit of glue to that, and if I lay this over the top of that, I know it's going to be in the middle and straight and at the right height. So that's my little tip for making them even. So let's do this. Let's add the hot glue. Now be careful because it is really hot, and then pop that on there, and then that way I've got a perfectly lined up image on the top of this straw now. So all it's left to do really is to pop them into the treat bags. So I'll just share with you how I did the tag on that. So I die cut the Chalk Talk framelit, which is like a tag shape, and added a couple of strips of washi tape at the bottom. And then this trick or treat image comes with a little something stamp set, which is designed to coordinate with the square pillow box die. So I've got that at the moment, and then all I've done is take a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock, the trick or treat sentiment, stamp several. You can get quite a few on each strip. So I've torn the top edge of this, and then I'm going to tear, because I want the rough edge showing. If I tear it that way, it's going to be underneath. So if I tear it back this way, and then just tear right along here, because I don't want them too big, because we still want to be able to see the washi tape at the bottom of the tag. So I tear that off, and then as long as you remember to tear towards you, you're going to get the raw edge at the top. So turn it round again and tear it towards you, and then see that as a bit tall there, so just tear that off a little bit more there. Grab a dimensional and pop it on the back, and then grab one of your tags. Let's use that one for this, and pop that onto your tag. And then all you do is you simply tie some thick twine or some baker's twine around and loop that over the bag. I have added a glue dot to stop this popping up and falling off. And so there you have your trick or treat bags. Only another 48 more to do, with Sweet Hauntings straws coming out of the top. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and thanks for watching.